On the 23rd day of the month of September, in an early year of a decade not too long before our own, the human race suddenly encountered a deadly threat to its very existence. And this terrifying enemy surfaced, as such enemies often do, in the seemingly most innocent and unlikely of places.
Neutral. Revelation 12 sign. Revelation 12, verse 1. We got the woman clothed with the sun. The moon's under her feet. With Yeshua and Miriam and Leah Marie and Laban and Israel and the wise men Caspar and the comet Hideo, Nishimura, and they all stand for, and the crown of 12 stars is there. There's 12 Virginie stars on her head. And the 12 stars obviously represent the 12 tribes of Israel. Verse 2, and she being with child cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. And the child is there, right next to the United Nations. And the United Nations represent the dragon. But I just realized it's not the dragon. And remember, 666 represents the beast, and it's right next to the asteroid Israel. So if the United Nations isn't the dragon and it's just representing the dragon, then where's the dragon? Well, first off, remember, the enemy, he's a copycat, a counterfeit. When the rapture happens and the 7-year tribulation starts after the tribulation that we're in right now, then the enemy jumps on the scene and says that he's God. The copycat, the counterfeit. So as I'm looking at this sign, while I was editing yesterday's video, it hit me. Why is there an asteroid named Child in a comet that was discovered by Hideo that means male child? So I was wondering why there's 2 children in the picture. And this looks like what we've all been waiting for, verse 3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, to devour her child as soon as it was born. And when you go to English Standard Version, verse 4 says, his tail swept down 1/3 of the stars of heaven and cast them to the earth. So I went into Stellarium and I zoomed in and I started going through the days. And right there you can see the comet actually starts growing and getting bigger. And you can see the dot very clearly right in the scope. And as it goes through the head of what they call Leo, the lion, you can see the tail growing and it getting bigger. And when you get to September 13th and you start going through the hours, you can literally see this comet dodging every star, every asteroid, and it's whipping its tail around, as you can see. And when it gets to the star right here, which is the tail of the lion right there, you can see it's the star Denebola. And I'll zoom in some more so you can see how big this tail is. And I just showed you that comets change color. So this comet can turn red, and it can be the great red dragon. As you go through the hours, let me back it up a little bit. So you can see that the tail starts swinging and it starts flying sideways, this comet, as it goes by the tail of what they call the lion, Leo. It literally swipes the star with its tail. And I'll go through the minutes and show you.